0-6, but looking for a victory. They've played well. On the Sheet 2 game, as I said, it's Pederson of Michigan, and they are at 1-5 against Flippo, who is at 2-4. So an outside chance for Flippo to make a tiebreaker. Sheet 3, we have a game between Tim Hodek of North Dakota, and Hodek is now at 3-3, very much alive, against Jake Vukic of Washington at 4-2, also very much alive. So we're going to keep our eye on that game. And then over on Sheet 4, we have the lone women's game in this draw between Anderson of Pennsylvania and Emily Brecky of North Dakota. And Anderson currently sits at 4-2, while Brecky's at 2-4. So it's a big game for Anderson of Pennsylvania. So Don, why don't you, if you don't mind, give us the notes on our generous sponsors.
Absolutely. We would like to thank our gold sponsors for this week. We have Dunkin' Donuts of Lexington, who have provided all the food and beverages and great coffee for all of the national events that have been held at Broomstones. We also have Whole Foods of Wayland out on Route 20, and they have already sponsored some lunch, and they're also going to do another lunch and another dinner on Saturday for all of the participants. And lastly, one of our gold sponsors is Brooms Up Curling Supplies. They have sponsored the USCA, and they are one of our major event sponsors for this week. So thank you to those generous sponsors.
Thanks, Don. So the ice makers are sweeping the last little bit of the scrape off of the ice, and the officials are standing at the ready to blow the whistle for the teams to slide. And we'll keep you try to keep you updated, as we said, on all the games. The last draw, there were a couple of fantastic finishes. The highlight, if you didn't see it, was Scott Dunham, Pennsylvania, with his hammer shot, had to draw to, I would say, the pin and 1 inch behind a tight guard. And we weren't even sure, looking at it, if there was enough room to squeeze a rock in there. And he threw the rock, his sweeper swept it the entire way down and dragged it right to the spot to score 1 and beat Myers of Minnesota 1. So it was a great back and forth game, and you love to see a game end. Hate to see anybody lose, but you love to see a game end on such an incredible made shot. So if you didn't see it, after you're done listening to us, because you don't want to miss anything live, go to the tape. One of the incredible things here that Broomstones has accomplished with all this technology, and I will admit to have been a little less productive at work than I might have been this week, is the ability to go back and look at any of these games. And I know how valuable that is to the teams and the coaches to be able to go back and look at it. And the fact that we've got all that stuff stored everywhere, wherever it is stored, at live stream. So take advantage of those games. It's great things to watch. So we're underway here.
And as Fred said, these are timed matches. I believe that each team has 73 minutes of play.
They do, and they get one timeout. It has to be called from the ice, and they get time for the coach to get on the ice, but once they're there, that counts. So Pederson has the hammer here, and Alaska has thrown the first rock, which is Brandon Hall, I believe, and he has put one on the top 4. Conservative first shot, but I think it's just what he wanted. Michigan, Brandon Wickman, their lead, is trying to put up a corner guard. Michigan is unquestionably the best dressed team at this tournament.
Absolutely love the bow ties.
2 of them are sporting bow ties and 2 straight ties, but all white shirts. I don't think they're as freshly pressed as they were at the beginning of the week. They're still looking sharp. And they threw a perfect corner guard. And Alaska looks like they're going to try to put another one in the house, but this is going to be light and probably on the guard.
On the guard. tap that up for, sure if that's now a biter.
Yeah, they tapped up the red. I don't think it's on the rings. So Brandon Wakeman's second shot for Colorado, and he's looking for a corner guard on the other side. So going aggressive right off the bat.
This looks like it's going to be nice.
The ice has been, from what I've seen, holding up really well here this week. Great credit to the ice makers and the support from the Broomstones ice makers. Still a good swing, but it's been consistent all week from what I've seen. Here's Halverson, and they're trying to get him to throw a hit on the red.
Yeah, this is definitely going to overcurl and hit their guard.
But he rolled to the other side and left the shot at the red for later. But there are now three rocks in front, and Pederson has a chance to try to hit and roll behind. This is Wesley Swartz. Now they're on it. And he's got a hit and a roll a little too far, but nice shot. He removes the yellow rock. And Ryan Flippo is going to try to hit that and roll behind the other way. Oliver Halverson's second shot. And they're sweeping it, but now they're just cleaning. That's got to move if he wants to get the roll. Here it comes.
No roll, just a nose hit for stick.
Swartz's second rock. He's trying that same hit and roll. Looks a little bit outside.
Does not look like it's coming back either.
But he manages to stick around. This is Quinn Evanson, the Alaska Vice. Trying essentially this same shot for the third time. And another nose. Pretty soon they won't be in the house anymore. So Pederson is calling the draw through the gap in the middle. This is Aaron Carlson.
This weight looks really nice.
Yeah, here it comes.
And there goes the curl.
But it's a little heavy.
Definitely heavier than I thought.
I think it's biting the back 12. Yellow looks to be shot.
I always find it very difficult to judge weight from behind the glass.
So Flippo's calling for a draw here in the other way. And that's hanging at the moment. It's going to come off the red. It looks to be a little heavy.
I do believe he's going to squeak right through there.
Back 12 again. So this team, teams are still adjusting to the speed of the ice. And Pederson's going to have Carlson try to follow that rock in. Plenty of weight, if not a little heavy, but it's going to probably end up on that yellow. Bump the yellow out, and that's shot rock. Sharon, that's Don Hebert who is broadcasting with me. People wanted to know who that voice was.
I have a fan base already, huh?
And we're expecting Ben Clark, but he was running out of work in addition. But I think we'll get this well covered.
The sweepers are on this hard, trying to hold that off of that. And no, just a little nick. But he...
Tick the guard, almost got the back.
Almost got that back one.
So Pederson has a hammer, but this is his first shot. And it looks like he's going to try to take out that yellow and roll behind. It's a good call.
I like that call.
Shot. It's a second counter most likely, and
it's a solid call for his first stone.
Puts the heat on the Alaska team if they are looking at 3 without the hammer. Ben will be all right, but we will need beers at the 5th end break. So it's all. Here's Pederson's shot. It's got to move. Here it comes. He's removed the yellow.
Again, he gets the hit, but not the rollover.
He's biting, so the job is done. He's lying 3. And Ryan Flippo's got to find a way to hide one that Pederson can't get to, or this could be a big end. So I was wrong. Flippo's not going to throw the draw here. He's throwing the hit and try to roll behind. Maybe get the double.
They've been on that hard ever since he let go of it.
One.
Oh,
That's
very
a great
nice.
Shot.
Very nice double.
Shot. He's got the double and Eli's shot. So that was a
very nice double.
Good call. And now Pederson could get to that rock around the outside, I believe, but it's a tough shot, so it looks like he's going to elect to just draw 4-1. He's just got to make full 12-foot.
So over on sheet 3, excuse me if I pronounce these names wrong, the Hodek game. Hodek, excuse me. They blanked their first end, so they are at 0-0 after the first end.
Yeah, Hodek Vukic, and again, that's a big game for both teams, so we will try to keep an eye on that. The winner of that is still very much in the playoff hunt. And here's Pederson's hammer shot. Just trying to draw. He gives that frustrated look that he thinks he's heavy, but I don't think so. I think these sweepers ought to stay with it. He's on the guard, but if they hang with it, they can tap that in for shot still. Come on, guys. And I think he made the shot. Not the way he called it. And we have a smoke detector or something going off here. But never fear, we will keep broadcasting this game. So at the end of one, Pederson gets the one the hard way and leads 1-0. And what happened on sheet 4? I didn't see. We have to wait for them to hang the score.
I believe Anderson just took 1 on that sheet. Yep, they just hung the score. So Anderson is up on sheet 1.
Anderson versus Brecky, and Anderson sitting at 4 wins, 2 losses. Very much needs that win. And on sheet 1, Stubbe has hung a point with the hammer against Kramer of Colorado. So first rock of the second end for Brandon Wickman of Michigan, and they're looking for a close guard. And it's a nice close guard. A little off the center line, but nicely thrown. Brandon Hall of Alaska is going to go for a corner guard. So both teams getting aggressive here in the second end. And he's got a nice corner guard.
Beautiful.
So the shot here is to try to come around the tight red guard for Pederson. And it's going to be deep. Flippo's going to try to sweep that out. And it's going to hang on to the back of the 12-foot. And Flippo's going to ignore it and try to come behind his corner guard. They're sweeping it hard.
They have to sweep this
Brandon
hard
Hall's shot.
to keep this off of that guard. It's going to curl right in.
By the guard, they want to bring it down to Barry. It's right on the tee. Very nice shot.
The call to freeze to that?
Yep, he's going to call a freeze. Pederson. So both teams are throwing caution to the wind this end.
I think freeze shots are one of the hardest shots to make in this sport.
They are, especially when you have teams like most of these juniors who can throw good, accurate, heavyweight peels.
The precision is just so tricky.
But that ends up being a tap and bumps the yellow over to the 12-foot and rolls into the middle. And Ryan Flippo is going to ignore that rock and
Now
go behind.
What's the strategy in ignoring that rock? Don't you,
Well, you run
as
the risk.
opposed to sitting on it, freezing on it?
Well, the strategy is go behind the corner and hope that he doesn't cover it or guard it, or maybe he comes in close to get a double, and now you can get a big end. So he's playing for a
He's playing very aggressively.
crooked number here. So I like the strategy. It's a patient, good strategy. They're still early in the end.
And the shot is very nice.
So it's nice, and now we'll watch how this unfolds. So Pederson's throwing for another freeze.
It's starting to come over.
He's got plenty of weight.
Very
A
nice.
little tap back. It's a good shot. Flippo wants to. He'd like to cross the face of this and continue this game of tucking yellow rocks behind his one corner guard. This is Oliver Halvoran's shot. They're off. He's yelling off. He was the guys were sweeping, and I didn't want it. This is hanging out wide. He's now going to try to maybe tick and get the other red. Good plan B. Good sweep call by Ryan Flippo. However, that red is now on top of the yellows, and his attempt to get a big end is going to be tough. Although perhaps he can get to that red from the other side. But and a nice hit for Michigan, but they did not get a roll.
No, the nose hit left, hit right. So we will
Flippo's looking for
see a hit and roll on this.
hit and roll. If he gets a hard enough roll, he might be able to push that red off a little bit. This is Quinn Evanson, the vice, throwing his first rock.
They are on it from the minute of let go of his hand. Trying to keep that line. I'm not.
Well, they got the rock, but too skinny and rolled out and pushed their yellows. So Pederson's calling a draw behind his guard. This is Aaron Carlson. And they're on it. It's curling hard.
The amount of curl that we're seeing, I feel like the sweepers need to get on it sooner than later.
Yeah, that's true, Don. Part of it is knowing the release that your opponent throws. So with these stones, and it's really more the stones than the ice, if you throw a soft handle, not a lot of rotation, or you turn it over at all, it will curl hard. And whereas you bring the weight up and throw plenty of rotation, sometimes it'll stay straighter than you expect.
Exactly.
Here's Quinn Evanson. He's going to try to hit, and then this one, weight was up, and he hung a little straight, popped off the red. It's a half shot, gets the job done, but This is Wesley Pederson's first shot. And he's calling for a draw. And the rock is away. They're watching it, but weight looks, well, maybe a little heavy.
It's definitely heavier than they wanted that shot to be.
But he's lying 2, so and there's no good double for Flippo. He's going to get 2. He's going to have to try to do it with his 2 rocks, I would say.
They're looking at a hit and roll off of that back red one. I think that's the shot that they're thinking about, hitting that back red.
Yep. Given the broom, I'd say he's just going to throw control weight.
And hope to just stick.
Yeah, which, by the way, I'm going to try to catch myself if I use too much curling jargon. I know that a lot of our curling junkies listening know exactly what I'm talking about, but for the friends and family, who we're broadcasting for, but that means it's just a little less than the heaviest weight, so we'll curl a little bit more. Nice clean release.
Still. Now it's starting to curl over.
And he didn't get the roll behind, but he's shot rock.
We're down to the last 2 skip rocks.
A big shot about to happen on sheet 3. Tim Hodek is throwing a hammer with 2 Washington rocks, 2 yellow Washington rocks, right on the pot. And I think he's looking to double them off, or at least cut them down to 1. But if he could double them off, he could get 2 here because he's got a biter on the top. So big swing on this shot. North Dakota is sweeping Hodek's rock all the way down. 11-year-old Ethan Sampson's calling the line. And
oh,
he got 1, I believe. But it might be a measure.
It's very
Back
close.
on the featured sheet, Pederson throws a hit. I'm not sure who scored on that rock. He made a nice shot. We'll let you know as soon as they hang the score.
It was very close.
Body language says Washington scored, but that is not always the right indicator. And here's the hammer for Flippo. And after all that hard work trying to get a big end, he's stuck with trying to hit and stick to take just 1. Can't afford to roll out, or Michigan could take 2. Michigan's lying 2-3. Looks again like control weight. And sweepers are on, and now they're off. And they're on. And they're off, and they're on. Looks like a very nice shot. Nose hit for 1 for Ryan Flippo. So we're all tied here on sheet 2 at 1-1 after 2 ends. And they did hang the 2 on North Dakota Hodek, the second end. So It was a great shot by Tim Hodek, and I was reading the body language incorrectly.
Maybe it was relief you were seeing in the sag of the shoulders.
Could have been. Actually, I was looking at the Washington team, but that's just good. That's good chemistry if the team is propping each other up and saying, "Hey, nice end, doesn't matter." And on sheet 4, we have the hammer shot coming from Emily Brecky.
She's shooting for 1, I believe.
For 3, if she can
for
make
3.
it. She's
correct.
yellow, and there are Anderson has a red rock. It looks like it's half buried, and 2-3 are yellow for North Dakota. So. And they're sweeping it hard out of her hand on the Brecky stone. And she crashes on
the guard.
So that will be a steal of 1 for Sarah Anderson of Pennsylvania on sheet 4. So that game is now 2-0 Anderson after 2 ends. And back on our featured sheet, we had a guard by Flippo a little off center. Michigan drew to the wing, and second lead shot from Brandon Hall from Alaska. They were attempting a hit and roll over. It's hard to watch 4 games at once, Dawn.
It is very difficult, and I'm waiting for them to hang the score on the Kramer game.
Yeah.
They're starting their 3rd end, but not quite sure what the score is over there. They did not hung their 2nd end results
Red
yet.
Through first, so they must have taken. They must have scored, and they were there hanging out.
And they scored 1.
So Stubbe of Wisconsin leads Kramer of Colorado 2-0 after 2.
Yeah, there's so many great shots happening on all 4 sheets that your eyes kind of go all over the place. Which one to watch?
By the way, Amy Holdorf has been here for how many straight hours?
Half of our production crew is down with the flu, and Amy has stepped up and has been running the cameras since.
Suzanne Roy has arrived to learn the technology and learn to give you guys great camera angles. So
Amy's been here since 7, I believe, and has been on the cameras for every single draw. So a huge shout out to her.
That's 7 a.m. Saturday.
Yeah, 7 a.m. Saturday.
So this club, Broomstones Curling Club, has, you really just need to ask people, sometimes more than once, but people will come out and really support an event like this. And the warm room is hopping again today as we get towards the evening draw. Last night it was...
It's interesting how many people who here who actually should be at work. That's what I find amazing.
Yeah, I noticed you caught your husband commentating the other day.
I
know
did.
You're making it up to him.
I did catch him commentating when I thought he was at work. So that was fun.
So my story is I was at work with the volume turned down and called Jennifer just to see how things were going. And she picked up the phone after a couple rings and kind of said very quietly, "I'm broadcasting." I had the volume down, or I might have known that.
Exactly.
So, she and Karen have been really working hard to make this event a success. All right. So
they just had a little bit of a draw, the Pedersons, and there's a part of the rock sticking out. It can be seen.
They're behind the close guard, and
half of the rock is hanging out there.
Flippo's trying to decide what to do. He doesn't have the hammer. could argue that he should just be going for a steal here and use those guards, but I think he prefers to.
He was looking at that, but now I think he has changed his mind.
Yeah, he prefers to open it up. Halverson's throwing a peel weight, which is a heavy weight. And
cleared one.
Didn't get the double. He took the yellow rock out, so got part of the job done. We have a viewer who wants to know where the junior nationals are going to be next year.
I believe that they are in Seattle next year.
Seattle, yes, I had heard that. So coast to coast.
Yes.
They were in Seattle in 2006, I believe. I got to be there as a coach. It's a great curling club. And the Pederson team has a really nice draw behind.
Very nice. Looking to clear out that front red now.
Yeah, he wants to run this back and get rid of them both if he can here.
They are on that very hard from the beginning. I think he's going to catch the outside edge of that rock.
Sorry, I missed that. What he looks like he took
Caught the outside edge of that rock, and the shooter spilled as well. Basically trying to put that back, and I think this is heavier than he was.
Yeah, he was trying to
looking
split
for.
him up, and that's
gonna go right through.
Aaron Carlson's shot is going to be right through. So
a nice simple hit and roll over.
Quinn Evanson's throwing a control weight hit at this, and they're looking for a roll, and they got a half of a roll, but it's a good shot. And Pederson's calling for Aaron Carlson to do the same. He's got a little less room to get around or across the face, and this rock is a little outside. He's going to get half the rock but roll out. We're up to 230 people watching. Pretty good for a Wednesday afternoon.
I have been impressed all week at how high our numbers are. And apparently I heard a story yesterday that there was a office building in Minnesota that was broadcasting live in their conference rooms.
Nice.
So it's very, very impressive.
So this event has been good for productivity all over the country. Now, hopefully the other goal we have, in addition to entertaining folks and keeping friends and family informed, is create more awareness of this sport and help with the growth of the junior programs, which are doing so great. So it's fantastic, and as I said before, these videos of these games stay out there. So if people want to go see some great shots, I would imagine we also can. That'll be a lot of work, but somebody can make a highlights video just out of some of the coverage.
I do believe that is in the plans.
Wow.
And I'm sure most people are aware of this, but the winners of these games go on to play in Worlds, which will be held in Sochi, Russia, on the Olympic ice. So, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that would be a thrill.
If you haven't had a chance, there's some great YouTube videos out there on progression of the building of that ice. The facility is absolutely gorgeous. So take a peek at it if you get a chance.
So.
Did you ever think when you were 14 that you might be able to go to Russia and curl?
Not curling, no.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. It was Pederson's first shot. Yeah, and it's a two teams out of this event will be headed there. That's it for sure. So Pederson's rock is over curling. That's not what he wanted. And he's going to
tap that yellow up a little bit.
Yellow up and give Flippo a chance. Flippo a chance for to put another one in and force Michigan to make a tough shot for one. Score update on the Hodek-Vukic game is that Jake Vukic took one in the third, so that game is now tied at 1-1 after 3, and they're playing into the fourth. All of our other games are still in the third end.
That stone ended up doing a double tap.
Yeah, so moved it out of the open. So Pederson has... he's got to hit and stick because there is a biter on the top. He cannot go for the blank here.
Rocks away. Sweepers jump right on it.
They gotta sweep it hard. They're by the guard.
They're gonna get a roll right
and
behind.
Nice shot.
Nice shot.
Good sweeping. Good shot. So Pederson takes one, and at the end of 3, it's now 2-1 for Team Michigan over Flippo of Alaska.
Over on sheet 4, Anderson rink. The Brecky rink has scored 1 in the third to make that score 2-1 after 3. And on sheet 1,
It looks like Kramer of Colorado is lying. Well, I'm not sure. I think he's lying one. He's trying for a draw, either to be shot rock or there's a red in the back. We'll let you know when it finishes.
It's a hard angle to see from where we're sitting.
So Pederson calls for Brandon Wakeman of Michigan to put up a guard, and he puts up a nice long guard. They're going to go for a steal here. In the Battle of the Brandons, Brandon Hall of Alaska is going to put up corner guard. And Kramer's shot came up light, and Stubbe was counting, not Kramer. So on sheet one, that score is now 3-0 for Wisconsin over Colorado. And Pederson, Michigan, are going to ignore the yellow rock in the house and try to use their guard and come around. It does look heavy. Sweepers are walking away.
And that stone is through. They are sweeping this very hard.
Yeah, these are two powerful sweepers on the Alaska team. And trying to get by this guard, but it's not going to make the house. They are by the guard.
They did get by the guard, though. That's quite impressive. Quite impressive sweeping.
They're looking for oxygen.
The one Alaskan sweeper has a look on his face like he hasn't. You stand up and you get that lightheaded feeling. You know you've been working hard. This looks really nice.
Yeah, finish it. Nice draw.
Beautiful. The way those two
Wesley Swartz
guards are set up makes it a little bit trickier to get at.
A little bit of a delay here. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, there's Ryan Flippo. He's going to call for a just a tap back on that red. They're watching it.
This
It needs
is
to
gonna
curl.
come over enough. Nope, not quite enough.
Yes, you might ask why the Alaska guys swept that. don't know if they thought they were going to get a tick roll, or they decided they did not want to tick it in, and so they were sweeping it to just get it out and not leave backing. It's a good steal potential developing for Pederson here. He's calling for a guard, mid-guard.
I think you're probably right on that one. I probably did not want that backing back there for them to be able to sit on.
And that's going to sneak into the top 12. A little deeper than he wanted. Leaves Alaska a possible double. But not an easy one.
The sweepers are on this right away.
Now they're off, and it needs to curl, and it jams. But it moved it a little bit off the forefoot, so that gives him more room for to get to the 4 later, and he might even be able to get to that red from the outside. So Pederson's going to go after these rocks. I think that's a good call without the hammer. You might say he should just be going all out and put another rock behind the guards, but he's also trying to protect. After all, he does have the lead, and he's trying to protect against the big.
Yeah, he's protecting against the big end. I think that's a good call at this point.
Sometime on Monday, so I was happy to miss that part of it.
He gets a shot, loses the shooter.
So Flippo's going to try to come around the outside. Mike O'Neill has arrived. It reports that he worked exceptionally hard this week, and so he was able to get off early today.
Except that he's also saying that he spent most of his time at work watching the live stream. So, again, back to the comment about productivity this week.
And this rock looks tight.
Do you believe? Oh, just a little tick, which is going to throw off that plan. It's calling to guard that line.
So now he's going for the guard. Last time he went for the hit. I don't mind that.
No, I think that's a good call. See what happens with your strategy and happens with the next rocks.
This is Aaron Carlson's shot, and actually that's great.
That tick saved him.
Yeah, he got the tick off the top guard, and
definitely came over a lot further than he wanted it to.
Ended up as a good guard and pushed the other one out to be a better guard.
Mm-hmm.
But it does open up a hole there for a possible tap or run back of the yellow for Alaska. Hey, Ben. And Flippo's going for the double on these two guards. Boom, boom.
Oh, and he gets them. Very nice. Very nice.
He got it. The only downside is he took his outside red off, so his chance of taking 2 is reduced, but did open things up a bit. And the end on sheet 3 just completed, and I did not see who's. Well, I know that North Dakota scored. We'll let you know as soon as we can figure out how many. It's Ethan Sampson of North Dakota is throwing their first stone, or the first stone of the end. Wesley Pederson's first stone, and he's going to try to draw another one into the house behind that yellow guard.
It's looking really heavy. Oh, maybe not. They're sweeping.
They're on it.
I think they're sweeping more for line.
It's deep of tee, but it's a good stone. Flippo's looking at the double. If I were him, I would I'd just follow that rock down that Michigan just threw. So they're looking at that now.
He's worried about crashing into that yellow guard.
Yeah, but he is going to play the draw this way.
It's the right call.
Yeah, I think it's the right call for sure, because he can get a skip's deuce here, which means that team scores 2 with both of the rocks of the skip, the last 2 rocks. They're taking their time. We're going to at some point ask somebody to check the clock, because the Alaska guys are taking their time on some of these shots. But it's a big shot, so he wants to be careful. They may be fine on time. Ryan Flippo's rock is away. The lights are green. It looks a little heavy to me, but they're.
He started to
Quinn
sweep
Evanson's,
in that.
and now here it comes. Evanson's yelling off. He's worried about line. Plenty of weight.
Very
Nice shot.
nice shot. Beautiful
beauty.
shot by them.
That's a beauty. Really no way to get
Beautiful
that
shot.
off.
And they're going to just follow them
Even
down.
if you hit the outside red, it's going to jam. So Pederson's left. Our roving reporters say that both teams sound like they're okay on time. 47 and 46.
46 and 45.
In the fourth end. I don't have the table in front of me, but I know they've got to be 36 at the end of 5. They want to be greater than that.
It's about 7 and 7:20 per end, I think.
Yeah, but you really would rather you'd rather bank some time in the first half of the game, because a lot of these games that go the distance, there's teams need some time to sort out what can happen, and the later ends tend to be more aggressive. So here's Pederson's rock. He's trying to throw the same shot that Flippo just threw, and that just looks a little light to me, but the sweepers are watching it.
Yeah, it's going to come up short.
And they're on it. And it is going to be short of desire. So it's in the top 12, which is going to leave Flippo for the skips deuce we were talking about. He's just got to draw to biting the forefoot or just close to the forefoot, and he'll get his 2. So a little sweeping error on that last rock. I'm not sure they could have gotten all the way there, but they were watching a rock that needed to be swept. Ryan Flippo's got a nice straight delivery, good balance throw. He's got a long string of Nationals patches on his arm, so I'm not sure if this is his last, but he's been to a bunch of them.
This looks heavy for what he wants. It's going to sail through.
It did. A little too clean of a release. So missed opportunity to take 2, but Flippo does get 1. So this is a close game. We're tied at 2 each after 4 ends.
All right, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Ben Clark, who has arrived.
Don, thank you. Ben, how are you?
Very well. Hi, everybody. Good to be back.
So we've got some close games all around, Ben, and we've been keeping an eye on the Hodak Vukic game as best we can because that one has definitely playoff
Yes, I heard that.
Implications. Hodak got 1 in the 4th, and that game is now 2-1 Hodak of North Dakota. And then Sarah Anderson very much needs a win on sheet 4. And I do not know what happened in the 4th end, except that looks like Brecky's throwing the first rock. So Alaska's first rock, they were looking top 4, and that's back 8.
An aggressive call by their skip there.
Pederson, yeah, he's been doing this pretty much all game. Just start going right out, even in the first end. He
Well, that was Flippo.
Oh, Flippo. Well, Flippo was trying to put that top 4, I think.
Right, I know, but just coming in at all there without the hammer in
Oh,
a tie
yeah,
game.
yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's a conservative call
Well,
against a lot of teams, but
right.
I guess they feel confident in their hitting.
Yeah, it depends which way you look at it. It's a aggressive call in that he's not going for the steal. He's been sort of playing like he has the lead, even though he doesn't. So nice guard by Michigan. Brandon Hall of Alaska is going to try to come around that guard.
But that sweeper was on it before it was out of his hands, so I think they're concerned about the weight here.
And Flippo's yelling him off because it's on the guard. It's a little bit of weight problems for these teams right now. I don't know if the ice has changed or sweepers are getting tired.
The fatigue definitely sets in around now, or probably before now, but I know a weekend of curling like this, and I barely remember my week there, but I know I was sore by the end of it.
Yeah, I don't know of another sport that you would have to play. Every team is going to have to play 9 2.5-hour games in the course of a week. So
It's pretty brutal.
that's a lot of 20 hours of curling, possibly 20 hours of pretty intense competition. And then if you're successful, then you're into 2 to 3 more games.
Yeah, people always underestimate how much work that sweeping is. People, that's not really a sport. Okay, spend 1 game sweeping and you'll change your mind. And everyone I've ever convinced to do it has.
Yeah. Yeah, the shoulders start to ache. The inside of the arm starts to ache.
For sure.
course, none of this is as hard as coaching from behind the glass, where your ulcers start to ache.
Haven't had that experience yet, just this one, and you know, this feels good. This you feel like you're
Commentating
you
is
feel like a
this
genius.
Is, yeah,
you know everything. You know everything. Every call you have is right.
Exactly. And if you're wrong, well, you can just shrug it off.
Blame them for poor execution.
True enough. But we're glad to help. Here's Michigan trying to hit and roll behind. And that looks tight.
Yeah.
You might get a piece of the back one. So you can take kind of a half shot, piece of the back one.
Yeah, they were well inside immediately. I didn't think they. I was trying to see if there was another shot they might have been trying there, but
I think he just pinched it.
must have.
So Flippo's going to try to use those guards now and draw one behind and set up for a steal.
Yeah, they're worried about the weight again, though.
They're digging, they're sweeping hard. No, they didn't
Get
get
a
by.
piece of the guard. And unfortunately, they blocked any chance of a promote there just by rolling on top.
But he is lying too. And so Michigan's going to have to do something. Pederson's thinking about the draw here. So there's an aggressive call.
That is
with the hammer.
definitely an aggressive call. It wouldn't be my call, but they've been playing, from everything I've seen, they haven't been looking to hit. So
This looks light.
Yes, it
and
does.
On the center guards again. Maybe they'll get a little tap out of the yellow to red.
Looks like they might have.
And they do.
They got shot out
They
of
got
that.
shot out of it. That wasn't even, I guess that's plan B, but that's not a bad plan A because now you got rock behind more traffic.
Yeah.
Sheet 1, by the way, Stubby has stolen 3 in the 4th, and that is in control of that game, up 6-0.
And it was just 1 point for Brecky on sheet 4, so that's a tie game.
Yeah, so sheets 2, 3, and 4, we have close and low-scoring games. Alaska trying to run this yellow back onto the red, and he's got it. Didn't stick around, but the main job is done. Got rid of the red rock. So good shot for Quinn Evanson.
There's a port now on the other side for a draw, which he's going to go right for. The hit's a lot harder to get to now, but still an aggressive call. And they're tight again.
Yeah, that's just on the guard pile. So Ryan Flippo is going to try to have his team put another rock in the house. Draw through that hole.
That new guard does seem to have wired a raise for Pederson if they have the opportunity, but
Yeah, I see that on the left side. So good sweeping here. Found the hole, and they got their right to top 8. Michigan's going to try to open it up.
I think you see in that raise I was talking about.
So on sheet 3 in that big North Dakota-Washington game, they're in the fifth end break, and Tim Hodek's team from North Dakota has stolen 1 in the fifth, and so at the fifth end break, it's now 3-1 for North Dakota Hodek over Washington Vukic, with both teams desperately needing a win in that game.
Pederson is looking at that promote run back.
Yeah, he's called it.
Yeah, seems to be set up right on that line.
I wonder if there isn't a little throw action that's going to happen and drag that rock into the yellow, depending on where he hits it.
Yeah.
It's hard to see the angles
I
from
wouldn't
here.
expect him to get it a little on the outside, but
He's got it on nose. Perfect shot.
nice shot, very nice shot.
Claws in the warm room.
But Alaska's going to look right away at another run back.
Keeping an eye on the Pennsylvania Anderson versus Brecky of North Dakota game. Sarah Anderson is throwing her first stone. She's lying 1, maybe 2 actually. So she's actually, she's lying 2, so she's got a chance to lie 3 with the hammer. Ryan Flippo's trying this run back, Ben pointed out.
Working hard to hold it. Looks pretty good.
Oh, nice sweep.
And they nailed it.
Nailed it, and tucked a tight little cluster of 3 yellows over on the side. So
And undercover, so there's not a lot Pederson can do here. I think
yeah, so
it's probably too late to clear those guards. So I think he's got to start looking at the draw.
yeah, this is first shot. Skip's first shot, but I agree with you. I'd throw the draw here, and
You need it.
yeah, he's going to have to see if he can get the Skip's deuce here.
Or just to really get anything better than those 3, because
Yeah, or get 1.
yeah, no, I mean again, any they just can't afford a crooked number here because they're.
So Sarah Anderson is lying 3 on sheet 4. Emily Brecky's coming down to throw her last shot. Sarah Anderson has hammer.
But yes, with Flippo wanting to play a hit game, they can't afford to get behind.
Pederson's rock is away, as is Emily Brecky's. And they're sweeping it hard.
Didn't quite get it covered, but I think that's
Barely
shot.
count. It looks like red is barely count for Michigan. Meanwhile, Emily Brecky on sheet 4 got a hit and stick, but Sarah Anderson has an opportunity to hit and stick for 3 with the hammer shot of the 5th end over there. So this is a big shot. North Dakota's lying 1. And if Sarah Anderson can take this hit and stick, she will take 3. So a big swing on this shot.
And Flippo looking at another run back.
Yeah, I guess the same shot he just threw.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked twice for him.
They're sweeping hard on Sarah Anderson. No, now they're kind of just cleaning. And she made a nice shot. So that's a big end for Pennsylvania going into the 5th end break. They are up 5-2 over Emily Brecky.
Got to hold this one.
Oh.
Just missed it.
Just missed it.
Now, where does Pederson want to try to get there too?
Yeah, it
I
looks
would
like
say way around the outside.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
what he's going to call. The only hard part here is to figure out what the ice will do.
Right.
Is it going to be the same speed? Is it going to be, sometimes when the ice starts to break down with all this sweeping, it's still actually faster on the outside than in the middle.
Yeah.
But, and how much is it going to curl?
I'd say the ice looks about right, but I agree that you're not sure what it's going to do way out there.
Yeah, he's got to get full 12. Well, no, more than full 12. He's got to bite the 8-foot to get a second counter here.
There's plenty of room for that. It's
and the rock's away. Sweepers are watching it. The line looks good. In fact, but the weight is
plus.
Just too much. Line was good. Mostly Pedersen's a little upset with himself, but it's, as we were saying, it's tough to throw that shot on the outside. So, and he has a lead at the 5th end break.
Yeah, you can't be blamed for overthrowing that one a little bit.
So we're at the 5th end break in that game, and the Hodak rink is just beginning their 6th. So we're going to take I'm going to take a quick break here. We will thank our sponsors once again: Dunkin' Donuts of Lexington, Whole Foods of Wayland, and Brooms Up Curling Supply. And be right back. Yeah. Thanks.
IPL or?
The other one,
Jabby Brown.
Yeah, Mike.
What's that? My boss is watching. I forgot. I'm just thinking, I'm not going to
us when our mics are
You're
like.
good. You think you're up and good.
Are we up? Our mics are good?
Yeah, I think you're
All right, so we're back here, but we are going to try to show you guys while the beginning of the end, the sixth end develops with Pederson and Flippo. We're going to try to show you a little bit of the Hodek Vukic game. Show you this end, the end of it. So they're in Skips Rocks here for Jake Vukic of Washington, who has the hammer. This is his first rock, and house is clean, save for a yellow rock that looks like it's off the rings on the side. But he's going to try to use that as the ultimate corner guard, I think, or at least draw over to that side.
Corner freeze, maybe.
And
it's a 3-1 game. Vukic trailing. Could really use a 2 here.
yeah, Vukic with a hammer wants to get 2. Hodek wants to force him to 1. If he's only going to get the 1, I would expect to see Vukic blank. But then again, they're in an even end, so that's sometimes a discussion. Certainly in the 8th end, it can be a discussion.
Yeah, it's probably a
Probably
little
not in the
early to think
sixth,
about
yeah.
now, but
Tim Hodek hits and rolls out, so Vukic wants to blank. It's easy. But I'm not sure he is. He's got room. It could be a draw. Of course, it could be a throw-through. We'll let you know as soon as he releases what it looks like he's trying to throw.
looked like he was indicating through, so. And that's what I would expect anyway. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's throwing it through. Right you are.
Yeah, it's a throw through.
And so that's a blank. So we should probably go back to our featured game, but we will we'll take the opportunities we have to show you a little bit of that game and perhaps the Anderson Breaky game if that stays close. So we're working on. Yeah, we're back on our sheet here, and let's see what has happened. Is Alaska has last rock advantage in this end. There were two red rocks, one on the 12-foot, one up front, and Alaska is trying to draw over to the same side where they have their rock already.
Looks like they're trying to put a guard in front of it.
Looks like they're going to try to make a corner guard and set up for attempt at 2. That might have overcurled a little bit.
Just a little, but again. Yeah. That's a pretty tough hit anyway, and Pederson hasn't been inclined to do even the open ones.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is one of those games where if you look at the scoreboard, you think it might be a hit game, but in fact it's been a pretty aggressive game, at least by the Pederson team. But it's just worked out that everybody's been getting one with their hammer. Like that's exactly what it's been, one with their hammer every end.
A little light on the freeze, but and Flippo's going to look to clear guards.
So this is Oliver Halvoran's stone here, and he's going to Ryan Flippo wants him to get rid of at least 2 of those guards.
Yeah.
And he's looking for up weight. They're both tapping their heads.
devil is definitely there. I don't think any. Oh,
It's hanging out.
yeah. As will happen
Watch
with that
the,
kind of.
well, he did get a double. If we get this out. He got a double. Wasn't the way he called for it, but he got the job done.
Looks like Pederson probably drawing down again.
Yeah, they're going to try to draw back down to that other one. A lot of ice, but
it seems like about
their
the right.
rocks have been curling a lot. I don't know if it's the way they release or it's just starting to swing. So
They're working real hard to hold it. They're going to get around, but they might be light again.
it's a little light.
Yeah, they had just about the right broom, because that if that were 4 or 5 feet deeper, that's a perfect shot. But
From the look at it from here, the ice has slowed up, or from the look of the way it's the results. But as Ben was mentioning, that fatigue could be a factor also. And so Flippo's calling for a hit and stick, and he got the outside, just avoided the jam,
Yeah.
so it's a good shot.
it was not the side they wanted to miss on, but they dodged a bullet there a little bit. Pederson coming with the same shot again. Going to be harder to get there with their previous shot in the way. Sweeping for line a little, but
Weight looks good.
definitely.
Down to the tee. Flippo should be able to get to it.
Yeah, he's throwing a heavy draw sort of weight. See if he can move it out of the 8 maybe. Try to count that other rock.
Quinn Evanson's shot.
Got lots of room, so
Now it's moving. Now they're
I
on
think
it.
that's a sweep for weight, because they. Oh no, they're just freezing. Not even quite freezing.
Yeah, they waited a little long on the sweep. They could have brought that right down to it.
And Pedersen's just going to try to cover it up.
Yeah,
See if he can steal one here.
Right, it's not going to be easy for Alaska to get at that red. They guard it. He may end up.
Oh yeah, if you put that guard up there, it's going to be tough to get. And they might have to start thinking about drawing or clearing guards. They still have a couple stones. They could try to open this up.
And he's got a mid guard, but gets the job done.
Yeah. And Flippo will look to clear stones.
Peel weight here.
Only going to clear the one though. And
Yeah, so he removes
Pedersen's
the guard.
sure to put it right back up. So perhaps just looking for one that they can double more easily.
So Pederson's first stone here. Lots of broom. And they're looking for a guard. There's more ice than he had in the first one, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, just a little. Maybe they want it covering a little more of the forefoot.
Sweepers are watching it. And it's coming nicely now.
Yeah.
And he's got a good guard. They got to be
Yeah.
careful not to. The guards, rocks swing so hard when they slow down. It's very hard to place a guard sometimes here and not have it over
Yeah, it
curl.
can
I've
be.
seen any number of times this week where shot looked like a good guard right until the last 6 inches when it moved a couple inches off.
But I think that's a very well placed stone because it's
The Minnesota 2 versus USCA Dropkin game today was a very close game, and Minnesota had a chance to guard a rock in the ninth, and that's what happened. They curled about 2 inches too far to the side, and Corey Dropkin, they left Corey Dropkin 2 inches, which is all he needed. He made a beautiful shot to tap that rock out and take 3, and they shook. So.
Yeah, I was sorry to miss. I only got to see the first half of that game, and I sad I missed it because I hear it was quite an ending.
Yeah, it was good back and forth, and you look at the scoreboard and it doesn't look like it was close, but they swept that guard 2 inches too far, and Corey took advantage of it. We mentioned earlier that the game of the day in the noon draw was the Dunham game. Where,
Yes.
Scott Dunham drew to the behind a tight guard to the absolute pin, and out counted a rock that was maybe off the pin by an inch, and he grabbed that inch with his rock.
I'll have to look up the video on demand later, and
Pretty sure we got it,
watch
even
that
though they were
shot.
on sheet 4.
unless I don't think this shot is there.
What's he looking at?
I think they're trying to see if there's a way to run that yellow. I think, but I mean they could be going yellow, red, yellow, but. Well, they are trying to get right back on that yellow. I don't know if that's there.
Sweeping it hard.
Yeah, they're on the front guard.
He keeps it open for his draw. But
Yeah.
he had that draw anyway. I think I might have been taking that draw in the last shot.
Yeah, I'm sure they were saving that draw for the last shot, but
Got a lot of
yeah,
yellows.
I don't know what the other option there was, but I really don't think that shot. I think it was a really well placed guard that just came over enough at the end to make
Yeah, I
that
agree
shot
with you.
impossible. See how that shot was tempting, as it gave them a chance at a pretty big number. But
Yeah, big end. I mean, this is a game the Alaska team expects to win, but that can be tough sometimes.
yeah,
You start to push a little hard.
Pederson's going to try to replace that guard. Weight's pretty nice. Just got to get right back to the center line, and I imagine let Flippo draw for his 1.
We've got a measure on sheet 4 now. I don't know if is that the measure for shot rock?
I think it's for shot.
Can't tell they've already moved the other stone.
Yeah. Sheet 4, that is. Anderson versus Brecky. Marty Kelly using the measuring stick very adeptly. The game looks like the game on sheet 1 is over. Final score: Stubby 12, Kramer 0. Although I don't know if they played the 7th.
And the result of that measure was a red stone. We're not sure if it's one or if it's more than one, but
We'll let
at
you know as
least
soon as
one
we
for
know.
Anderson. Oh,
So that puts Anderson in control of that game either way.
and we got a skip stone pulled on sheet 3.
Hogline violation?
Stone was flashing
Flashing red.
so either he didn't activate it or a hogline violation.
That could be a big moment of that game. Yeah, so
I think that
that game is now 5-1 Hodak after 6. So I apologize we weren't watching closely, but that looks like an unfortunate outcome for Jake Vukic of Washington. So he's got his work cut out for himself. And Vukic is at 4-2 going into that game, and Hodak's at 3-3. So Vukic can lose that game and still make a playoff. Hodak, it would be unlikely, but possible. You know, the math here works out in this 10-team round robin. Everybody gets 9 games, and generally, if you go 7-2, you're for sure in the final 4. 6-3 usually, although there can be a playoff. 5-4, you got to hope for a playoff, and it all depends on where the games break.
I don't know why Flippo's looking at this shot.
Wow. This is greedy.
Yeah,
I would go for the
especially
draw.
the angles. The angles are not good. He can get his yellow on the outside with a lot of weight and maybe carry that red out. Otherwise, he's hoping to go between those two, and there's not much there where you find the red.
I think he's trying to shoot that hole between the yellows.
There's not
and,
much
pick
there.
the red out for 4.
The angle is
Good
very tight.
Good return, but I would say high risk. They're watching it.
Seemed to like it.
A little skinny now. I'm with you, Ben. I think you just throw the draw there and get 1. But he may not have been comfortable with making the draw, so.
I guess not. And I mean, there was definitely reward there, but I think that the angles were just not there for that shot.
It was a hard one. He did really, really thread the needle with the hit rock. So Pederson steals 1 and goes ahead 4-2 after 6 ends. So Team Michigan playing a very good game here.
And that was 2 for the Anderson rank, putting them in a pretty commanding lead. They have a 7-2 lead on sheet 4.
So we seem to have stimulated some good conversation about the risk-reward on that shot online. Good conversation to have. From our eyes, from our vantage point, that was a very hard shot, but it did have a multiple of 4 times 1, so you can run the math and do your own calculus. It's good debate. If he makes the shot, he's certainly a hero there, and is on his way to winning the game. Down 2, he's still in it.
If he'd had a whole stone to shoot at, I would have thought about it, but he only had an angle raise at half a stone, and I just don't think it was the right call.
It's the beauty of curling. We are generally always right behind the glass.
Yes, indeed.
And even righter on the internet stream. Good game.
Definitely.
The other games are opening up. Anderson took 2 in the that was a measure for 2 apparently. So she's now up 7-2. Anderson over Brecky. And Anderson's at 4-2, so a win would put her at 5-2 in excellent position for headed to the playoffs. And again, Hodek is up 5-1 after 7. But Vukic has started out the 7th end very aggressively. Get 2 rocks behind the guard.
But Hodek's starting to look to clear.
So sheet 1's done. We'll try to get a good game going here in sheet 2, but we will try to keep you informed of the other games because they have playoff implications. So hopefully we'll keep all 263 people online informed. So Alaska's got the hammer here. 1 rock, top 12. And
trying to pull another one in.
Yeah, Pederson.
They're going to get there. It's exposed.
Pederson put up a wide corner guard. And we were looking at the other sheet. That not likely to be where they would have wanted it.
That was actually a spill off a hit.
Spill off a hit.
This line's very tight. They'll get it.
Leslie Swartz gets enough to remove the yellow rock. So the Michigan team is they do have a win, but they haven't had a lot of leads this week. So this is good for them to play with a lead. It's often one of the hardest things to do in curling is to figure out how to protect the lead without getting so defensive that you give it up.
Well, I don't think this Michigan rink has to worry about getting defensive.
No, we haven't seen any signs of that, have we? You're right. Good for them. They're out. Leslie Swartz planning for a control weight hit here.
This one is hanging though.
Yeah, a little too much weight for that ice. You got a piece. He removes 1 yellow. And Ryan Flippo is going to try to go behind those his rock and the corner guard.
It almost looked like he was indicating a promote, but
he could hit a promote would work there too, but he wants to
maybe
be
a split back to the middle.
Yeah.
Split that one a little deeper under cover and try to roll back in. It's a tough shot, but he's gonna come around. So maybe just bury one behind.
it's on the
They're
red
on the
guard.
red guard, yeah. Not even going to open it up.
Yeah, so the door's open for Flippo to get a 2 here. This is his first rock. 2 or possibly 3.
Elsewhere, Jake Vukic is drawing for 2 here.
Yeah, Tim Hodek just had a hit, but he rolled out, so Vukic has got to draw for 2.
Tighten that game up a little bit.
Yeah, that would bring them to within 2. And Ryan Flippo has nice weight on this draw. And they leave it, it wasn't going to bury it, they leave it high, but it's in the rings. Actually, Pederson's liking to hit, so that was a nice spot for the rock for Alaska.
And on sheet 4, Anderson just had a hit. Now sitting 2. Brecky about to throw her hammer stone and appears to be drawing. Take her 1, which
Did Vukic get his 2 there?
I did not see. Yes.
Yeah, he
People are
did.
telling us yes.
Yeah, so Jake Vukic got his 2 against Tim Hodek. So that game now, after 8 ends, is 5 for Hodek of North Dakota and 3 for Vukic of Washington. And Pederson here has a shot to try to take this rock out and stick around. He's wide. Well, he's got the rock out, and his shooter rolls out. So Flippo has a draw for 2 to try to tie the score.
Brecky did get the draw for 1, putting that game at 7-3 after 7.
So Team Pennsylvania in control.
Yes, up 4 with the hammer is a daunting lead.
We have seen one game this week where a team came back from 9-3 to
Yes.
tie it at 9-9, only to lose in the extra end.
Yeah.
It was Shelby Sweet of Washington.
Yes, gave Miranda Solom quite a scare.
And Ryan Flippo makes a nice draw to get his 2. So we're all tied up after 7 and head into the 8th end. Hammer advantage to Michigan, but we're looking for a good finish here. And yes, Michigan, as I mentioned earlier, is unquestionably the best dressed team on the ice.
You switch from the long ties to the bow ties. I don't know if that's the right move, but
Well, they got half and half.
yeah.
Fine.
Hedge your bets a little. I've never been a bow tie man myself.
Yeah, these look like real ones. I don't think these are clip-ons. These guys are a classy bunch. They look good, and the shirts still look white. So lead stone for Brandon Hall of Alaska, just deep of T. He's looking for top 4 there. And Flippo's going for the corner guard. So Pederson of Michigan going for the corner guard. Good call. He's been playing that strategy all game for the most part. No reason to change now. See if he can get 2 here in the 8th and Give
Looks
them
like they're
one in the
coming
ninth
on.
or two, and then you get the hammer coming home.
Or not. The lead seemed upset about something, but that's a pretty nice shot.
Yeah, it's a nice corner guard. Alaska trying to put another rock in the house.
A little higher than the last one, I think, but
Top 8, fighting the 8 and the 12. And Pederson's going to hit it, try to flop over behind his guard. He hits it just right, he might get a double and the flop, but I think his first aim is correct. It's just to put it behind the guard.
lots of weight. Gives him a chance at that double.
Brandon Wickman here throwing this shot. So he got it on the wrong side for what he wanted, but it gets the job, the primary job done, and gets rid of the yellow rock. And Flippo's calling for the hit with a little roll.
Looks a little tight. Yeah, they're on it right away.
That's not going to get it. Just a little nick, but he brought the weight down a little bit and missed that.
And he was tight.
Yeah.
Right out of the hand.
Opportunity for Team Michigan.
They're tight as well.
Sweeping it hard.
Yeah, I think they're gonna look to clear.
This looks like he's on his own rock.
Yeah.
And then they got to roll over to the other side, but that's definitely not what he wanted to do.
No, he was just a little inside.
So Alaska gets a nice hit here.
Nose hit.
Nose
sitting
hit
two.
to lie 2. Wesley Pederson asking Wesley Swartz what he thinks, and it looks like they're going to go for a hit on the yellow that's in the back of the forefoot, and maybe get a little flop behind.
Yeah, looking pretty nice right now.
It's curling hard.
I'm gonna get that nice roll right behind.
That's a beauty.
Yeah, that's a shot. That's a shot rock. Flippo looking for a little bump.
Yeah, he's going for a tap here. Quinn Evanson throwing a stone here.
Sweeping hard, I imagine, for line.
Weight looks good.
Yeah.
And he's got a nice shot.
Yeah. Lying one now.
I think Michigan can get at that rock, but
Yeah, but they haven't been chasing those.
yeah. So Pederson's calling for a freeze to the yellow. Maybe a little bump back would be good for him here.
They've been making them pretty consistently. This one is hanging, maybe a little plus weight.
Yeah, he's on the yellow.
Gonna carry it right
It's
through.
gonna
Yeah,
take
that
the
was
yellow out.
that was pretty strong for a freeze.
And Flippo elects to hit that rock. Just smart. Stay out of the potential of the big end for Pederson.
They're holding it way out
This is
there.
hanging out.
Yeah. And that exposes the yellow.
So Pederson tightens the broom a little bit from the last one.
And you can expect a little less weight.
And yeah, Aaron Carlson can try to throw a little less weight this time. Sweepers are watching it. I think that's a little heavy again.
Does have an awful long way to curl.
And it's missed and through the house. This is an interesting call. Flippo wants to put another one over there, leaning on, cornered on his shot rock. The risk is that he sets up a double.
The Vice seemed to like a freeze on the red instead, which seems like a better call to me, especially if you can get a little bump there. You could lie three.
And he's got a lot of weight. But now they're on it.
They're going to bring it past the yellow, looks like. No?
Well,
I
that's,
guess not.
There's a double, but it's not an easy one. So they put that in a pretty good place.
Probably. If nothing else, that shot keeps the 4 foot open for your draw with your last stone.
Yeah, there's not going to be not likely to be a blank here. So, but then again, back to that discussion earlier, eighth end, even with the hammer, you often elect to take one. Depends on how you plan to play the ninth, of course.
Right.
Is he going for the double here, Ben?
That's what they were looking at. They were lining up the angles, so that's what I would expect. It is there, and it would.
If he hits it right, he'll split the house. Although I think he's got to hit that pretty thin and pretty hard to get rid of both rocks. So
Really got to work.
well, he
Really
got Got them both. Shooter rolls, and the yellow is back and not shot. So he made a nice shot.
But Flippo's going to take that red immediately.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that
make
double
Pederson
was,
draw against
it was not possible to get the double and stick around. He got about the right spot, but didn't have enough weight to get rid of them both, and still rolled out. So Jake Vukic on sheet 3 just made a very nice draw to sit right on the pot with 2 red rocks behind. Tim Hodak is looking for
a way to kick that one out.
In-off double to kick it off. I'll tell you, Tim Hodak is 16, and he looks like he's 16 physically, but he does not play that way. He's quick, decisive, sees the angles, and very impressive. Watched him play earlier, and it doesn't take much time to decide, and picks good shots.
Oh.
Okay,
Flippo
so
looks a
back
little
here,
tight.
Flippo is trying to get this red. I think he's all right. Needs to curl.
Wow. It's a nice shot, though. Ooh,
Oh, no.
ooh,
Missed
really?
it.
Wow. Wow, that didn't come much at all. Wow.
And Tim Hodak's bid at the double does not execute. He stays, gets it a little outside of nose. So Jake Vukic
It's a nice
takes
steal.
a steal of 1 in the 9th. So that game's coming home. So we're gonna try to watch both of these games. And Wesley Pederson has a draw for 2 with his hammer.
It was a very nice play by Vukic. They were, Hodak was sitting 3 or 4 there, and Vukic was looking like he was in an awful lot of trouble, but just made a perfect shot that Hodak could do nothing about.
Yeah, that Vukic game is an entire end ahead of us. So we'll must be playing lightning speed over there. And Sarah Anderson on sheet 4 has looks like about a half-covered hit to take 3 if she can make it.
I don't think she'll be able to make it and stick.
Yeah, and I agree. And she doesn't need to. She
so she'll
just
probably
gets rid of
throw
that
it,
rock
yeah.
as a victory. She takes 2, and she probably wins the game.
Ices that game, yeah.
Yeah. So Pederson makes a nice draw.
Get
And
the 2.
gets his 2. And Sarah Anderson's shot is away. They are watching it. Just missed. So that's a steal of 1 for Emily Brecky. So that game is still underway.
We're heading over to 3.
And we're going to go over and watch the 10th end of the game on sheet 3. And we promise to come back to this game, which is only in the 8th again. So we'll keep you informed, but
See if we can
I
watch
think
this
folks would
final
like
end.
to see a final end.
We're already there.
So we're already there. So the situation here is Jake Vukic of Washington is down 1 without hammer. Tim
Looks like-
Hodak of North Dakota.
Hodak just tried to peel. It looks like tried to split the center guard off, but it was a free guard, so they put it back.
Right. So Vukic wants another guard here. We go to a classic aggressive steal strategy here. Yeah, 5-4 Hodak over Vukic here. Vukic down 1 without the hammer.
Another guard
Another guard.
without setting up the double.
A little close to each other. And Hodak's going to have Ethan Sampson try to tick that again.
That's the word I was looking for, tick.
So these two, the lead and the skip are 27 years old between the two of them. And
Making even me feel old.
I think you just saw a perfect tick.
Absolutely.
Perfect tick like they've been playing for years together. That's a tough shot. I don't know what the percentages are. It's a sort of a no-lose shot, I think. I don't understand why more teams don't play it, but it's a hard one.
Especially, yeah.
But that's nicely done. Can't, again, for those of you who don't know, the free guard roll, you cannot take that rock out of place. You're trying to move it away from the center and without hitting it through or without hitting it out of the sideline. The best place you can possibly put it is the back corner, but that's very hard to execute. So Vukic puts up another guard.
And Hodek's going to start clearing.
Now he's into second stones, and so he can clear. So this is Brock Olofsson. He's going to try to throw some weight at this and peel that guard. And gets the job done. Got a little more than he wanted. It sticks around as a corner, but it's off the middle, and Vukic is going to try to put it right back.
Another nice guard for Vukic. Another tough double attempt from Hodek. Even if you make this double, I think you probably leave your redstone in place.
Yeah, I would agree. Although he's
throwing a lot of weight,
It's offset the right way, and immediately Tim Hodek sees the side of the rock he needs to hit it to get it, and he's just got the peel. But that's the primary goal. Better to miss like that than to nose hit it and just replace the guard. Meanwhile, Flippo and Pederson are trading hits behind one corner guard. We will get back to that game.
Currently a clean house.
Luke Violet's shot. Or no, I think it's Evan McCauley. The vice for Washington just put up another guard, and Hodek wants another peel from Carl Colbo. He got it.
Another peel.
Pretty nice peels for a young team. And Vukic is going to put it right back. So Vukic is a veteran of a number of junior nationals. He's going to be patient here. We got to get this over. Vukic is coming in to sweep it himself and take the rock. And they got it over.
Pulls it over.
So sweepers are running out of steam. That fatigue may have been setting in. Jake Vukic ran out there and took control and got it over. That's another lively debate that teams will have. I believe that a skip, under the right circumstances, should come out and sweep. Even at the risk of losing line. A shot like that, you get one fresh sweeper right on the rock who's feeling strong, and it can make a difference.
I tend to lean the other way generally. I think that the third sweeper is generally pretty irrelevant. I think this might be an exception where your sweepers
Well,
are
I
bound
agree
to
the
be
third-
real
I
tired.
agree the third sweeper is irrelevant. What Vukic did
Right,
right there is he
right.
grabbed
You took the
first
stone,
sweeper
and I
spot.
agree.
So-
And in this situation where your sweepers are sure to be tired,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
And in that situation, line wasn't the issue. It was a desperate attempt to get it over the
Right,
line.
right.
What, do we have a timeout here? We do. No, we just have a discussion. So Vukic is line 1 in the back. 4 has a close guard. And our featured game,
Looks like Alaska just opened up the.
yeah, I believe Alaska shot, but there are 2 reds right on top of the 4. And Pederson's actually trying to guard it, which either way
Try
is
to
probably
pick
a
up. I think that's the right call.
good call, because it's a victory for Michigan here if they force Alaska to 1 and they come home with
Exactly.
a hammer. So
With the hammer up 1 even.
Yeah.
I mean, even if Flippo makes a nice angle raise here to get 2, they'll play the last end with the hammer.
So we do have a timeout for Washington. They're yeah, I think we'll stay with this game through this end, and we'll keep you updated, and we'll be sure to get back to the Michigan-Alaska game for their last end. So this is Jake Vukic's first rock. He's got 1 guard up front and 1 rock on the back 8, and he's electing to draw behind that guard. And I like that call here.
Yeah.
You might argue for another guard and save your draw for the last, but I think you get that good shot top 4 here, and then Hodek is chasing him. So Alaska just moved a lot of rocks. All those rocks on the top, and at the end of that shot by Quinn Evanson, Flippo is definitely shot now
Yeah,
without with a clear access to the pot to possibly get his 2.
Again here for the other game, I might still guard. Freeze is the aggressive call, but I might still guard and let them take their 2 if they make a nice angle raise or something. I suppose there's a takeout for 3.
So Vukic's shot is crossing the close hog line. They're watching it. It looks like it's a little hot. They
Hoping
want to bury, but here it comes. And he's got a nice shot right on the pin.
buried very nicely too.
So you can get at that rock with this curl, but Vukic has that safety rock in the back, so you got to get at it and sit. So
Right.
we'll see what Tim Hodek calls. Ethan Sampson is indicating
A freeze.
he'd like to see a freeze,
And I think that's the only call here.
and I like that call because you give up 1, play the extra end, and you have the hammer, and you may get a chance on your last shot to hit that rock. So
And Hodek's going to call a timeout, it looks like. Now it might be worth jumping to 3.
yeah, we get a timeout for Hodek.
We got another timeout at shoot 3.
Oh, all right. Switch over to 2 then. Switch over to 2 so we can try to get an update of that.
So Coach Owen Sampson is going to head out to talk to his North Dakota guys. While we do that, we're going to attempt to hop over to sheet 2. Again, I hope you guys appreciate the technology that we are bringing to bear for
Yep, we're on there.
Our viewers, we're on sheet 2. This is Ryan Flippo's
Don't mind the scoreboard.
first rock.
Throwing a takeout for 3, looks like.
Now this is
Oh, this-
first. Yeah, he's gonna.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take
look
out-
at that.
take out
Yeah,
to
take
lie
out to lie
three.
3. That's a very nice shot. And puts Michigan in a pickle here.
yeah. They certainly can't get to the first 2 counters. And they can, yeah, they're looking at a
All right,
guard.
let's go. We get Tim Hodek's shot. I think we should go back to sheet 3 if we can. We're on sheet 3, so it looks like Hodek of North Dakota has elected to play a little tap, judging by the ice. Try to try to come around tight to that guard and just bump back the yellow and control the forefoot. And he's away.
Yeah, he's
got a lot of
pretty
weight.
generous weight. Yeah, that's
You want to miss an arrow, kind of miss.
that's hanging a lot.
They're doing the.
You gotta think them over.
So he
Get
got
the
enough of the
hit.
rock to move it off the pot.
But 2 stay in.
Moved a lot.
Gives Vukic.
Gives Vukic a chance to try to put another one on, but
And this is hammer. This is draw for the game.
It's not anything like a hammer. It's just last round.
hammer. No, Hodek's got the hammer.
Oh, correct.
But this is Vukic's
Vukic's
last
last rock, right.
Yeah, so he's got to. He's secured at least the. Well, he hasn't secured
He
anything.
hasn't secured
He
anything.
hasn't secured anything. So Hodek's going to have a shot for the win, regardless. So Vukic has got to try to make it as hard as possible. So
Yeah, put a top 4 or so.
I think you almost put it right back to where you had it.
Yeah,
Top
I
four,
mean-
biting the pot, because you're any less
Right,
than
exactly.
that, then Hodek can hit that back yellow and roll on.
Right, you can't be deep. I agree.
Ryan Flippo is throwing a hit for 4 here. So
That's going to change that game.
yeah, and he gets the red out, and Michigan's trying to sweep it off. They do
will
sweep
sweep
it
it
off.
off.
So Flippo gets 3. So we've got a barn burner there too. So Flippo takes 3 and is up 1 without. And here's
Going to be another great last end
Yeah, here's Jake Vukic's shot.
that we will get you to as soon as this is over.
Assuming it is over.
As soon as this
Not
end is over.
likely to have a tie, but it could. All right, they're on it. It's coming hard. They're by the guard. How deep are they going to get it?
Looks like a draw to the forefoot's in order.
Okay, so Jake Vukic bites the forefoot, completely covered. And
Hodek needs 4
Hodek,
4 foot to
Hodek wants. He's playing. He's playing a draw, but plans on using that back one. He pointed to that back rock. If he knows it's the back rock,
win. He wins.
he wins the game. However, if he rolls out, he could lose the game with this. So if he's too much weight, so this game, a lot of things can happen here. Either team could win, or conceivably we could have an extra end, all in this last shot. So great games today. Here's Tim Hodek again. Doesn't take a lot of time. Doesn't agonize. Very impressive.
It's tight. It's really tight.
They're on it. They're sweeping hard.
Got to get around that guard first. They're on the front one.
They're by the top guard. They're on the back one. They got to sweep it out.
I think
And
that's
looks like Vukic
looks
gets
like at
2
least
for
one
the
yellow.
win.
At least 1 yellow.
Might be a measure for the win.
I think
I think it's for 2. If you're ready to go back into it in a second, once they call
It's hard to tell from here. We know it's 1. And it's hard to tell from here.
I think if you're looking at it this many times, you might as well measure it.
Yeah. So, measure. We got to measure on. Oh, look at that. So we made a mistake on what we called. I'm not sure if that last rock rolled out or not, but Flippo did take 4. They hung the 9 below the 8. So that rock is. That game is 8-6 Flippo.
We are now back on that sheet.
And we're back on that sheet,
you
so we're giving you that 10th end, and we will tell you what happens on the measure. Marty Kelly is out to measure, and this is the game is in the balance. It's either an extra end or it's game over. Pederson's got 1 corner guard and 1 rock in the top 12. Flippo is going to go for the corner guard. Marty Kelly has measured the yellow, and he's swinging around to the red. And it is red. It is red. We got an extra end. You can hear Mike O'Neill in the background. They usually resist projecting. So we got one red there, so we're going to have an extra end.
And we will keep you up to date on that one.
We will keep you up to date on that one, and as soon as this game's over, we'll cut back over there. So here we got
Michigan putting another one on.
Michigan trying to put another one on. So they're trying to split the house and see if they can prevail for their deuce to tie the game.
I have to say, in this game, though, I think Flippo has the advantage.
Well, yeah, because even if Michigan gets 2, then Flippo will have a hammer, and there's certainly a momentum swing with that 4. Sarah Anderson looks like she's in control. She's up 4, and there's no rocks, no guards remaining, and they're in peel mode. So we'll keep you updated on that one as well. But it looks solid for Anderson.
Flippo takes out, rolls out. And Michigan's going to put it back up. Again, they're working real hard to put this one on the rings.
A lot of enthusiasm in the warm room right now. People like to see all these shots and exciting ends, exciting finishes. Michigan working hard. I do not think
Looks
they got that on.
Just short.
It's splittable. But I don't think it matters because Flippo's going to hit that rock anyway. Which is, I think, the right thing. It's the higher rock. It's early in the relatively early. Just trying to hit and roll over to the other side. Got a little too little of it. But he's hanging around. It's a good shot. Looks like red is still lying
Red
one.
is still counting.
Michigan trying to split the house. So it's a little heavy.
Yeah, it's like.
Flippo trying to sweep it out.
Will stay on.
It's going to stick around. third counter right now, but it could be a factor. Flippo's going to go after the top one. Quinn Evison comes out, nice solid weight.
Trying to hold
Got to
it
watch
outside.
out for the jam here. He gets it. Doesn't.
And that's nice. It rolls out on top of their counter.
Yeah, that's right. So it's
So Pederson
takes away the hit for Pederson. So he's not going to be able to light two at the end of this.
He may try to come down and just bump that 6 inches, which is all he really needs.
Yeah.
But that's going to take some very precise weight.
Yeah, it was a lot of ice. And
It was.
It's like a lot of weight, but here it comes.
Yeah, this one's coming deep as well.
Sticking in.
Certainly too much ice.
He's on the tee. Hodek, meanwhile, has 2 rocks on the 4. And,
Several guards in front, and Vukic is going
Yeah.
to try to get behind and see if they can't
Vukic
outcount.
is got the makings of a steal, but the trouble is Hodek has the rocks on the 4, so Vukic no longer has much to work with. Both Jake Vukic and Tim Hodek play an impressively quick game. They're just motoring through this extra end. Here goes Ryan Flippo's shot. His first shot.
Very
Got a
nice shot.
Flop over on
Ooh,
top of the red.
Very nice shot.
That takes that red out of play.
Absolutely.
So for Pederson
right
to
down.
get 2, he's got to do it with his 2 stones.
No, I think you come down on the yellow here. Again, you need the because you need to be counting here, and I don't think you get it if you freeze on the yellow on the outside yellow. But if you can get another nose freeze and keep Flippo from taking you out, then you have a chance to draw.
Well, the advantage of this side is he's got to better place it in the perfect spot, but he's got a guard to go behind too a little bit. If he can, which keeps them, so forces them to throw the jam turn. So if he can put it right on the tee, again, pick it up and place it spot.
Working hard to get it around that guard.
This is curling too
yeah,
far.
too far.
That,
yeah. Flippo will clear that red.
so Flippo's going to throw the hit here.
Even the red won't hurt him. Couldn't hurt him anyway.
Can't hurt him, but
But
I'm always leery of the shot you don't need to throw, because if he does not throw this shot, I cannot see any way that Pederson can get 2. But I guess there's no logical damage that can be done with this
Right.
shot.
yeah, you could throw it through just as easily, but yeah.
Wrapped up here. We're going to front right back to 3.
Ryan Flippo's shot is away. He's got it. So that's game.
All right.
That's game. A very good game there. Both teams played well. Flippo got that big end in the 9th. It turned the tables. Pederson played tough the whole way, so I'm sure they're disappointed. They get taste the victory. We looked away because we felt we needed to cover the 10th end of the other game. So
Let's get back to the extra and the
now we're back
Vukic
to
Hodak.
the extra and the Vukic game, and they are Vice Stones here for Team Washington.
Tied up right now at 5-5.
Game's 5-5, as you would figure in an extra end. It's tied, and Macaulay of Washington looks like he's trying to throw a
raise,
tap.
yeah.
Hodak has a rock on the 4 behind a lot of trouble. This is not
It's
going to
a little too outside, yeah.
Leaves open the possibility of a tap-tap. Hodak's looking for one top 8.
Yeah.
He's just got to
Make sure that Vukic can't get through the through the whole port
yeah,
to the
not leave him a
forefoot.
and don't leave him a double. But
Well,
at the same time, it's
right.
Getting another rock in there makes sense.
And mostly protecting against the draw. That's coming maybe a little heavy.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
why
no, they're gonna. Well, they don't want to leave any backing.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, they were heavy, so they swept it through.
Vukic is gonna take another shot at tucking one in there.
So this is Vukic's first rock. He's going to try to grab a little bit of the pot and get behind. Certainly the shot is there. Vukic making sure he knows what weight he wants to throw. And he's away. Flirted with the hog line, I would say, but the lights are green.
Hanging
It's
outside.
hanging out. He's got to get a little nick, but
Too
too much of
much.
that rock.
And Hodak's gonna probably take another shot at
Yeah,
blocking
Hodak
that.
Yeah, block that top 8, and Vukic does have a couple other options. He's got an in-off. He might have that double tap.
Rock in the 4-foot right now. It's in the full 4. About 2/3 of the rock is in the 4.
But I think the draw is definitely the easiest shot for Vukic
Oh,
to make.
absolutely,
So definitely
absolutely.
the shot that Hodak wants to cover up.
Absolutely. Hodak can put this. He can put this full 8 in that line, and just got to be careful not to leave a double.
I think it'd be pretty tough to leave an easy double at least.
We're just looking for a guard here, I think.
Yeah, they indicated top 8, but I bet they don't go past 3. Well, they're coming in. They got
Okay,
top 8.
You got the top 8. Tim Hodak, nerves of steel.
Using the tap.
They're, I do think there's a shot, there's a double.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think it's yellow, red is I think the shot.
Well, I think he can. I also think he can hit. I think he can hit the rock that Hodak just threw around 8 o'clock. I think he can hit that rock at 8 o'clock and pick the other red off. It's a skinny double, but
Yeah, it's.
I might just throw a straight yellow.
I don't know if you can get to 8 o'clock there with the guard in front.
Can't you get
With sufficient weight.
Can you get to the nose on the right side of the yellow guard? Drive straight back, yellow, red. It doesn't look like it.
You got to skinny that red, really skinny.
I think you just hit yellow.
Yeah, I think yellow red is the shot.
Straight hit.
It's not an easy shot by any means, but
It's all he's got.
I don't like the skinny double, and
You can't get to the skinny. You can't get around that guard and get the skinny.
I'm not talking about the inside. Cut it on the outside.
Yeah.
You slash it on the outside. Hit it at 8 o'clock.
okay.
And you leave the entire house for the draw, I guess.
Well, you,
Yeah, it's all. I
Good
still
job.
like the
Yeah,
fifth.
yeah. So I'm not talking about getting the inside of it. You can't get the inside of it.
Okay.
You'd be throwing at the outside of that red and slash it.
Yeah, that leaves your opponent to draw, though. I think the hit and hope you make it. I think that's the shot because you're
Both.
guarded if you make it.
Both tough shots. I don't. I mean,
Hodek's done a nice job here.
It's like they're cleaning that line going for the hit.
Yeah, from where we sit, so a little hard to tell how much of it he can get. So I think he's got to skinny the red.
I mean, it's one call. I prefer the raise.
The raise is great if he can get there. The question is, can he get to the nose? But maybe he can. If it's coming that way. It's a little debate back here, but none of us has to throw it. So Vukic likes this shot. He doesn't have to. Again, he's got to get rid of the red, but he's also got to hit it so that the yellow sticks around and the other red isn't still shot. So it can't be big weight.
Ethan Myers is saying Hodek will never miss that draw to the eighth. I think he has to play the double run here. Another skip's vouching for him.
All right, another good shot.
This is the game right here. Spoken like a true curler.
Jake Vukic taking his time, getting composed. I don't think he has any problem with time, but it's the extra end, so good for him. So looks like control weight. It's got to move.
You like it. You like it. It's hanging. Hung on him.
And he missed it. Stayed out wide.
all right.
So we can debate all night if that shot was there, but he made a good effort. So great game for both teams. Great game for Tim Hodek. That team has they've been in every game and hung tough and called good strategy. So good for them.
Yes, congratulations to Team Hodek.
So Sarah Anderson won her game, by the way. Hodek wins. Flippo comes from behind, and Stubby wins easily. So Ben, thanks. It's fun.
Yeah,
Good game.
always,
We got
always a pleasure.
Caught some exciting action, and for everybody online, thanks for watching. And we will be back for the 8 p.m. draw. And I can't tell you who's. Maybe I can tell you by looking at it, who's the featured match. At 8 p.m. is Fowler of Alaska versus Christensen of Minnesota. And Christensen's at 5-1 right now, and a tie for a three-way tie for first place on the women's side. Fowler is 2-4, chance to maybe get in there for a tiebreaker or be a spoiler. So we'll be watching that. We also have Sweet Lindgren, Schroeder and Haig, and Ely against Solom. So it's an all-women's draw, and we're getting to the part of the week where things start to really matter for teams. So thanks for listening, and hope to have you guys later on.